Welcome to the Oscars. The Zero Oscars. Welcome back, lads. It's episode 15 of the Zero Oscars. It's the show where we review every media-adjacent property with the Police Academy franchise. I'm John.
I'm Kylan.
I'm Eli.
And with us is our now resident Police Academy correspondent, Parker Anderson. Parker, welcome back. The first return.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm honored to be the first returning guest.
You're rapidly reaching Alex numbers.
There we go. There we go.
How you guys been?
Good. How about you?
Terrible.
Good.
Nice.
All right, let's end the show. No, I'm good. It's been a long week.
It has, yeah. It's felt like a long time.
Have you guys been watching anything interesting besides the Police Academy franchise?
I watched another Kurosawa film.
Oh.
This time I watched Rashomon, which is as good as people say it is. I really liked a lot of the stuff he was doing with lighting and sound. It's just fantastic. Which the whole premise is there's been a murder committed and it's told from like multiple people's perspectives. And it was like the first time a film did that, going and showing the exact same scene over and over, but with different spins on it. It's very good.
I've had this on my watch list forever. That
It's
movie seems so good.
It's on HBO.
Okay.
It's on HBO, so check it out.
How long is it? Because I know Seven Samurai is like 4 hours long.
This one's like an hour and a half. It's not
Okay,
too bad.
nice. I'll have to check it out. What's it called again?
Rashomon,
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
and then the Batman trailer came out and it looks
Oh
great.
yeah.
Oh, I saw that.
I've been pumped about that one. So looks good. I finished The Last Airbender and that's about it. The show, not the movie. I haven't watched the movie yet, but I feel like I need to now, just to understand the badness of it.
Reverse closure.
Yeah, right.
Are you gonna watch or have you seen The Legend of Korra? Do you plan to
Yeah,
embark on
so
that?
yeah, we're gonna start. I think we're gonna start that soon. We we binged the first season super fast. We actually watched it with some friends, so I think we might go back and kind of do that again, just to kind of get a better understanding. Because I know there's like a lot of callbacks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So might go back and do that. But yeah, definitely gonna watch Korra soon. Christian's going through it right now, and he said that he likes it a lot. So
Nice. It's a strong show. Eli, what about you?
I've been watching nothing for the last week. From Police Academy to Police Academy, I've been sitting in my room with my eyes closed, catatonic, waiting for my time.
That's impressive, especially since it was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You really went deep into that trance.
I did. But really, though, I don't think I've watched anything. I watched an episode of Malcolm in the Middle at some point.
nice,
Um,
great show.
That's about it, really.
Give us the rundown on the episode.
Okay, so the episode is this weird structure. It's very different from every other episode because it keeps breaking down the same like 10 minutes, but from different characters' perspectives. So it like rewinds to the beginning of the 10 minutes over and over again.
It's a Rashomon.
But basically, yeah.
You watched Rashomon?
It's exactly like that. Bryan Cranston, right, the father, Hal, wants Reese, the son, to cook him up this really nice beef, right? But they only have two ounces of the beef, one for the dad and one for Reese, who is going to cook it. But in reality, Reese isn't going to get the good beef. He's going to get crap beef, and then the parents are going to get the good beef. Simultaneously, oldest son Francis is trying to steal a really big fish that he claims he caught, but the dad claims that he caught. Also simultaneously, middle son Malcolm, who is in the middle, is trying to make his parents go on a wild goose chase 100 miles down the freeway so that he can then have a party with 3 Dutch girls. And that's pretty much the episode.
That is literally the plot of Rashomon. All the way down to the point of Bryan Cranston being in it.
Well, that's incredible. The influences.
I really need to watch it now.
I don't want to
No
be too much of a
compromise.
I don't want to be too much of a conspiracy theorist,
Mhm.
but every repetition as a theme is going to be brought up in every single one of ours because I watched Palm Springs. It's sort of it's 2020 Groundhog's Day. Parker's rewatching The Last Airbender. Rashamon's replaying that murder over and over. Malcolm in the Middle, it keeps flashing back between those 10 minutes. Mine, they're living through the same day over and over again. It's kind of
Palm
deep.
Springs is really good. I liked it a lot.
It's so good. I know I'm a little bit late to the trend. I know it came out like a month or two ago and everyone was like hyping it up, but really solid, very much the same Groundhog's Day concept, but sort of exploring that really in depth. I liked that, not to give too much away, our female protagonist basically does the thing I wondered why people didn't do in those kinds of situations. That's very vague because I guess basically she's just like she's studying for a way out versus rather just like sort of giving up on it. Because that was like my thought the whole way through. I was like, well, you have forever literally to just learn everything
To try
about
and
this thing.
study
Yeah,
it,
exactly. Yeah. So I just thought that was a neat way to subvert that kind of trope.
What is it
I like-
streaming on?
J.K. Simmons is in it too, which is great.
He's incredible.
He's
It's on
really good.
Hulu.
Yeah. It's on Hulu, yeah. I think it's a
and
Hulu original.
Mm-hmm. J.K. Simmons plays this man who is aggressively hunting down our protagonist and
Pictures of
keeps
Spider-Man.
killing him
Yeah.
over and over. Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
stalker who's basically just really pissed off that our protagonist brought him into the time loop. It's it's a wonderful thing. But a great little flick, a real palate cleanser between Mac and Me and Police Academy 5. But moving into really the heart of the show, we're all here because we're Police Academy nuts. We can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
That's right. Can't get away.
Instead of making arrests, they're going to take one.
He's thinking.
But when ruthless criminals kidnap Lazard, his loyal force put their vacation on hold and become bent on revenge.
Shark! Help!
Police Academy 5.
Leave the swimming area now, mister!
It's the best in fun and guns under the sun.
So I think it's only fair that we moved into the time summaries. And this time, since we have a repeat guest, our guest correspondent, we decided to enter Parker into the mix, and we're finally we're going to get to try some of the 5-second slots, and we're going to get to work through that. So Parker is actually going to start us off with a 20-second summary, and then we actually haven't decided who's going to take what. We can just decide right now. Does anyone have a preference? Is anyone thirsty for that 5-second slot?
I'll take the 5-second slot.
Take the
Okay.
five. Whichever one you want, John. I don't care about the other. Which one? I get.
I'll take the 15.
Okay. 10, baby.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and share this timer then.
What
And-
is before I start? What is Harris's rank? I forget.
I think he's a lieutenant.
Okay.
Or no, he's captain.
Okay, he's captain. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, this is not what I was trying to do.
Gosh, John. You
I
killed
had
the
it pulled
pod.
up. Where did it go?
Killed the
Oh, well.
pod. You
Oh,
killed the
it's-
pod.
I was paused. Oh no, what is happening? Bring your shared window to the front. It is in the front. Why did they do this to me? Where is it? That's my bank. I don't want that. Why
Share
is
that info, John.
I have to give my bank info. We'll try it again this time. This should work. All right, there we go. You ready for me to count you in?
Yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so Captain Harris and other guy who I don't remember are trying to scheme a way that Harris can take away Commandant Lassard's position because he's reached the mandatory retirement age. Meanwhile, he's getting honored in Miami and accidentally steals a bunch of jewels from these stupid thieves, and chaos ensues.
You fell for a classic trap that happens in the 20-second slot where you're like, I've got time to really bring
Try to
out
do
what
too
it's all
much.
about. And
Yeah.
I've been there many a time. All right, now I can fall for the exact same move.
And 15.
with the 15. All right, I'm going to count myself in. 3, 2, 1. Police breaking and entering. Thieves breaking and entering. Police, they're stealing something. The thieves, they're stealing something. Police, are they thieves? Thieves, are they police? Who knows?
That'll do it.
Whenever someone finally transcripts the podcast, I want them to edit in that I was flailing my hands rhythmically. All right, with the 10-second slot. Kylan, this is you. All right.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
At one point, Proctor is actually named. He's the guy who we didn't know his name. He hums the theme to Police Academy, so that means it exists in the universe. Either way, they go to Miami and they solve a crime, but they didn't think it was a crime, but it was.
They really make up. They say his name a lot.
I was like, I didn't know who this was. Like, they keep saying.
Proctor.
Rocker. All right, and with the coveted 5-second slot, Eli, are you ready for me to count you in?
Yes.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Police Academy 5 is classical literature. Man versus man. Man versus nature. Cop versus beef.
Incredible.
Good stuff.
I think that was a very
solid.
good primer. It still leaves us a lot of room for discussion.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But is there that much to discuss?
Is there? Yeah.
Does someone want to helm up? I'm struggling to remember this movie. Does someone want to helm up this summary? Start aiming the ship, and we can direct it as.
Is it
as
just
needed?
like beginning it?
Yeah, just a general summary. We're just gonna jump in, and start leading the way.
Yeah, I try to pay attention for like the first 15 minutes. So
Honorable.
It starts out like you said, Proctor, who is named now, and then Harris. They're like breaking into the precinct, I guess, to try to get some files. I suppose to figure out like the stuff with Lassard. Was it? I don't even remember what it was they were looking for. Basically, Harris is trying to take over the position. Was he trying to like find something to prove that he was like past the mandatory age or to retire?
I think he was just looking for something to get rid of him, and that was just there. And he's like, this will work.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, and it's like this whole thing when it's like there's like it kind of makes you think it's like opening with some thieves, but then it's like, oh, it's the police guys.
Yeah. Some classic Vander about breaking laws.
Yeah. Classic.
You need your parents' written excuse in order to break a law, as we all know. That's why the police are allowed to do it. I was confused, though, why exactly, so Harris finds the smoking gun conveniently, right? But what was he expecting to find?
Yeah.
Because I can't, it's hard for me to imagine what the thing is where you're like, I'm going to break into his office and that will give me this. I can't see the plan in action, like he just stumbles across
since he's like, especially since he's kind of like the like harmless, clueless old man.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't think there'd be anything incriminating.
I mean, also, if you wanted to go through his office during the day, you could easily convince him to walk outside.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So after that, I guess they're having like a ceremony where they're, graduating the new police academy people.
Recruits, yeah.
And then they're like, oh yeah, he has to retire, but first we're all going to Miami for some conference because he's police officer of the decade or something.
He's that boy.
Then, all the cops, which does not include Mahoney or Zed or the wimpy one from the last movie. It's like the rest of them.
It does include the big guy. Yeah,
House is back.
House.
And
he's an officer now.
Yeah. Eventually, Proctor calls like an airline to get first class tickets, but he accidentally called Lassard's office, and I think his name's Jones. Yeah, Jones is the one who does all the sounds, answers, and pretends he's an airline. They get him like really crappy tickets. That happens. It's a lot of them trying to get on a plane for a bit. It's too much of them going to a plane.
It's really relatable content. It reminds me of when I tried to order plane ticket back when they still had planes.
Well, well, I think it really shows the difference between the post 9/11 world and the pre 9/11 world.
Oh god.
Post 9/11, the TSA is the thing like stopping you from getting on the plane, and pre 9/11, it's just hijinks that sort of really bogged down the trip.
In pre 9/11, it was a policeman with a penchant for Foley work.
But also, he hums the theme song at one point. I couldn't get past that. It means the theme song exists in universe. They know this song.
One thing
But
I will say about the theme. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like never played by their band. I don't know how he knows it, and it's killing me.
Maybe he composes it. But I did make a note of this because whenever we get the theme is very triumphant when it plays like the title screen, and it did not earn that triumph. I'm like, you don't get to be this excited about Police Academy 5.
Yeah,
I
I feel like the title screen was like almost dead on, the same as the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Got the skyline in the background, music.
They know what works. They know what the people want.
Indeed.
There's also the other plot of some thieves stealing diamonds, and they're at the same airport, and they all are riding in the same plane to Miami. They get there. One of the criminals slips and throws his bag that happens to look exactly like Lassard's bag, and it lands right next to Lassard's bag, so he picks it up, and the criminals go and pick up the other one. So Lassard now unknowingly has a bunch of diamonds.
Lassard trips like 55 people in the airport with his golf balls. There's like 200 golf balls that are in his bag that are just like popping out.
He drops every
Nobody
one of
has
them.
any idea. They're just plop, plop, plop. Some classic slapstick there.
Yeah.
Truly. The natural evolution of Laurel and Hardy is Lassard and Harry Truman.
They get to Miami. They go to this hotel and they meet Lassard's nephew, Nick, who is exactly like Mahoney in every way.
He's played by I forget the actor's name, and it probably doesn't matter. But he's played by Lloyd Braun from one episode of Seinfeld, The Serenity Now. He's the one that George Costanza fights selling computers.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he was the whale.
He was the whale that
The whale that the blowhole gets trapped by Lassard's golf ball.
Yeah. It's a crazy crossover episode.
I definitely recognized him from that episode, though. But
I don't know. Things happen.
I'm having to look at the wiki.
I remember they go to Miami.
They go to the beach, and
Yeah.
there's a ton of hijinks at the beach.
That's true.
Mini beach hunties. Miranda was like walking in and out while I was watching it, and she was like, is there like a part when they're actually police? Because like everything I've seen has just been like beach parties. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much the movie so far. Then there's the new guy like being creepy.
Oh yeah.
And like I feel like this one is just so. Just the humor it's tiresome, but we can get to that later.
Well, it's tiresome, but it's also like there's like less humor, I think, or less like attempts at like big jokes, because it really does seems very intently focused with this like very boring, very boilerplate thief plot, which on one hand was a nice change because it's like a coherent narrative and you're like, okay, I get where they're going, but also it's not super interesting, and they don't really make a lot of attempts to like make it work as a comedy.
That's
it feels like a really generic 1 hour episode of some detective show.
They lost the soul of Police Academy. They lost Zed.
No, Zed.
There are many less laughs, I feel like, in this one, because another one, it's like some of the like parts that are attempting at humor are like they're not funny in the sense that like the jokes necessarily land. It's just so ridiculous. But with this one, it's just like You've got like that guy's fat joke.
Yeah.
You've got weird sexual joke, and you've got like just like I said, just like the slapstick stuff. Like I'm gonna hit you with the golf bag again and again and again and again. You just got guys like flying down the escalator, which like admittedly it's kind of funny thinking back on it, but you know.
I did think the beach scene had two semi-funny things. The first one was, so they go to the beach because they're at Miami Beach and they're all having a good time. Lots of yucks. Hightower throws a frisbee, which then Lloyd Braun catches and it just lifts him off into the air. I thought that was semi-decent because it's not like, it's just like, whoop, and then the scene changes. So I thought that was okay. I also liked when Tackleberry pulled his .88 Magnum.
On the shark.
Yeah.
I like that.
That was pretty good, yeah.
That was my favorite thing of the entire movie.
Yeah.
He just says
It needed more Tackleberry.
Tackleberry was underserved. I was about to say that.
And he was they were at the shooting range and they had those, I guess, like high powered guns. And he like shot the fly on the target. Just like zooming on this fly and just like blow it to smithereens.
He's like cradling the guns and the I can't remember her name. She's been in like all of the police academy ones. She was like worked at the academy, walks up and says, "Hey, you need to let everyone else play with them." And he's like, but I like them. And she's like, we'll get our own when we go back. And he's like, "You promise?" He just acts like a child with the guns. It's pretty funny. So yeah, they play at the beach for 30 minutes. It's almost half the movie. I felt like was them at the beach.
Yeah.
Eventually, the criminals figure out that Lassard has the diamonds, and if they don't get them back, the bad guy or the head criminal will kill them. So they go try and break in and get it. It ends up being they have them like in a camera for some reason. That Lassard, being an old man, is like, "I like this camera," and he keeps it. Then flash forward, they go to the zoo for a bit. There's some karate demonstrations there for some reason. They do teach the new recruits after you take a perp down, you just karate chop him multiple times.
That'll do.
They go back to the hotel to the ceremony where the criminals finally decide to just kidnap Lassard, which he thinks is all, they're doing some
Training.
it's like a
demonstration
training thing. And he's like, "Oh, this is great. You need to actually do this. You're doing this wrong." And he starts giving the criminals advice. They end up kidnapping him. It all culminates in a chase on the swamp in those boats that Bobby Boucher's mom uses in The Waterboy.
They seem like they're propelled by like good wishes.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure the physics work on those.
His
a
thoughts and
giant
prayers.
Those
fan.
things were zooming. I was watching. I was like, "Dang, those are pretty fast. I kind of want to take a ride in those now." To go through the swamps, big old fan.
Hightower single-handedly kills an alligator.
Yes.
Hightower doesn't play.
I enjoyed when he jumped in and they're like, "That alligator doesn't stand a chance."
The actor in real life, Bubba Smith, was super scared that an actual alligator was going to attack him during that scene.
Wait,
So as soon as
the alligator's actor was scared of being attacked by an alligator.
yeah, the alligator's actor was scared of Bubba Smith, but he was after fighting it, he was like, "Let me know as soon as I can get out. I don't want a real alligator to attack me." And he almost drowned trying to get Captain Harris back to shore because Captain Harris was, flailing and acting, and Hightower almost drowned during that. So that was a cluster. But yeah, they eventually catch up to the villains. They beat them all up. No one dies, but these criminals have guns on them, and they just start throwing punches and somehow beat them. It's pretty fun. Then Lassard is being held hostage or whatever, and he still does not realize it's real. When he finds out, he's like, "Oh, okay," and just beats the guy up immediately. And
Classic karate chop to the neck.
Yeah.
That's all police officers have been trained to do.
That's pretty much the entire movie.
Yeah.
Not
And it sort
much
of
happened.
It ends sort of how we began, where it has a big public ceremony This time, like sort of honoring Lassard, I guess.
Also Hightower.
And also Hightower. He gets promoted to lieutenant.
Because he fought an alligator.
Good, I guess. That's fair. I mean, I don't really know what makes a lieutenant better than whatever he was before. I don't know how that'll meaningfully change his role, but
I thought a lieutenant was like an academic rank, right? Like you can go to college and come out a lieutenant. But perhaps he can just become that anyway.
Maybe he can be a scholarly source on fighting alligators.
Destroying their egos and bodies.
you can cite Hightower and MLA. But yeah, it was sort of a little bit of a lackluster.
Yeah,
it was a much more understated finale this time.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have people jumping out of airplanes onto the top of the hot air balloon, only to slide down the hot air balloon with no gear and get down into the basket. Yeah, none of that this time around. We just had the bayou boats.
This was also the second time they've had a water chase with all of them on, like, the last time it was jet skis in the third movie, I think. So it's like, give me something new.
I mean, they've only got land, air, and sea. There's only so much you can do with those.
Space.
See some retreads.
Space, John.
Space. Incredible.
They should do it.
We want to move ahead to trivia.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Sure.
Let's head that direction.
All right. So, one of the reasons that Paul Maslansky, which I don't remember if he was the director or writer, but he's like the guy who made the movie. One of the reasons he gave for making Police Academy 5 was in spite of who? A, Steve Guttenberg, who played Mahoney in the previous films. B, Johannes Gutenberg, the man who invented the printing
press.
C, his father.
Wait,
D,
Gutenberg's father?
No. yeah, Gutenberg's father. D,
right.
Fans angry at previous sequels for being bad. Or E, a film critic.
He made it in spite of, or
yeah.
in
to spite,
or to spite. Okay.
Yeah.
Was this the first one without Gutenberg in it?
Yes.
Okay. I'll go ahead and start off just to say the film critics. So I guess that was E. That would be my answer.
All right.
I contend that it was to spite angry fans.
That was my number 2.
I'll go with C.
His dad.
You're going with his father?
Dad.
Well, Parker is correct.
Nice.
When Police Academy 4 came out, critic Rex Reed swore, if they make another Police Academy movie, I'll leave the business. To which Paul Maslansky said, Reed's one of the reasons I'm making Police Academy 5. I expect him to be a man of his word.
Yes.
Which leads me into my next question. Was critic Rex Reed a man of his word? Did he quit? Yes or no?
False.
No,
false,
he didn't do it. No way.
Yes.
You think he quit, John?
I hope so.
Oh, you're wrong. He did not quit.
No, he was a film critic. We knew they had no spine.
Bunch of hacks.
So true.
In the original version of the film, the main villain was named Tony. Then he had a last name.
Rigatoni.
Now this last name, yeah. This last name was edited out of the film. What was his original full name? A, Tony Shalhoub. B, Tony Soprano. C, Tony Stark. D, Tony Danza. Or E, Tony Hawk.
No!
Where's
What?
Tony Montana?
One of those?
It's one of those.
I really thought it was going to be Montana.
I'm going Tony Stark.
Go with Tony Stark.
Tony Hawk.
Good, Tony Hawk.
The villain from this film?
Yeah. The main villain, the one with the mustache.
I liked him.
What were the first two again? My mind
Tony
is blown.
Shalhoub.
Yep.
Tony
Makes sense.
Shalhoub. Tony Soprano.
I'm gonna say Tony Stark.
You are correct. It was Tony Stark.
Yes.
It was
Wow.
edited out because Marvel owns the name Tony Stark. So they kind of had to get rid of that.
Pretty simple there.
I stole his whole character.
But we know the canonically correct choice.
We know that man eventually becomes Iron Man.
Released the Police
Exactly.
Academy Snyder Cut.
All right. Final question. Now, this one relates to previous films we have seen on the Zero Oscars.
Oh.
So,
Police
Parker
Academy
may not
4.
know as many of
Yeah,
these.
yeah,
but-
right.
So, Officer Kate, the woman who the Nick Lassard kept hitting on creepily for most of the movie, has made an appearance in 2 previous Zero Oscar films. One of these, she was in a starring role, and another, she was a background character.
She's not Linda Blair, is she?
No, she's not Linda Blair.
Okay, just checking.
Okay, I'm going to list 5 films. Which 2 was she in? A.
Oh, it's a pick 2.
A. The Slugger's Wife. B. American Anthem. C. Staying Alive. D. Jaws the Revenge. Or E. The Lonely Lady.
Easy.
Easy?
Staying Alive, Slugger's Wife.
Okay.
The Lonely Lady and American Anthem.
I'll say Staying Alive and Jaws the Revenge.
All of you got one of them right. It was Staying Alive, where she was a background dancer, and American Anthem, where she was the main girl.
Oh.
She was the main gymnastics girl. I can't remember her name.
Girl.
Girl gymnast, I believe, number 1.
Girl A.
But, John, remember, I think you did the trivia for that one where you mentioned her being married to Wayne Gretzky.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Janet Jones, same actress.
Wait, I didn't do. Did I do that? No, Eli did that.
Oh,
That was Eli?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That does have
So
one of
that's
my favorite trivia questions, which in its present moment unreleased to people because I'm still hoarding these episodes, but it will hopefully be heard at some point. Which was the question of did the movie, what wasn't it like? Did it inspire
The U.S.
the U.S.
win
team
gold?
in 2012 to win gold in the Olympics? Which is a pretty good question.
But yeah, those are the questions.
Incredible. I dig them.
Some fun stuff in that movie. And gosh, we'll have another one.
And another one.
Okay. Oh, John, please go ahead.
I was just going to say, if I may, this is flashing back to the first question / 2 questions, but it's a very low bar to say I will quit. I will drop out of film if they make another Police Academy movie. They had already made 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Two of them had, or one of them had a 0%. And they
Yeah.
just kept getting worse. And he's like, they're not going to do it again. By God, they kept doing it.
What did the first one have on Rotten Tomatoes? I feel like that one was like at least like mid-tier.
I think the first one is positive. Like it's over 50, I think.
Wow.
I'll look it up real quick.
Should have cut it there.
54%.
They
And then
just
from
scraped
there,
the
they just
scraped
started
on that.
Yeah,
down.
positive. Shooey.
And then they eventually level off when they all become 0.
It's a pretty respectable feat. I'm glad none of them were like 2 or 3%.
I'm
Man,
also
that would have been
glad.
so sad.
That would have been a big bummer.
Imagine if
for
it was
sure.
like 6 is out, but you'd have 5 and 7.
We couldn't watch 6 because
You had
we
to
didn't get a
speculate
0
what
out of
happened in
2%.
6.
I will say, like, the Miami theme in this one was like way less than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I mean, it definitely like you said, there's a long beach sequence, but it could have been any beach.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting like this heavy Miami influence, but I guess that was too high an expectation.
They're here to make that low effort content.
Right.
They're here to they're here to probably make money on every one of them.
Yeah, honestly.
Yep.
Which
I
I
respect
just
it.
looked it up. They made a lot of money on this one. 14 million budget, $54.5 million box office.
Dang.
I think we should start making
Wow.
Police Academy movies, guys.
We should.
We could do it.
Police Academy 8. Let's do it. Let's make it. All right. Next segment.
Dude, let's jump into it. Do you want to do our changes? What changes we would make to Police Academy 5?
Yeah, I thought about this one during the movie. There's so many gunshots. There's so many people pointing guns at people. Let's have someone die in a Police Academy movie.
Yes.
They're not, with some of the
Please.
content, they shouldn't be rated PG. They should have some higher ratings. Let's get some gore going on.
Yes.
Just, I need it.
I'm there with you on that.
You want to make them
just-
police officers?
Yeah, for real. I say we needed Zed. We needed Bobcat back in it. We really lost something.
His
Like,
voice
we-
is so annoying.
There's just a massive void left in the Police Academy canon when he's gone. I missed him. I was imagining the places he could go, the things he
Like
could
Miami.
do. Yeah, the beach.
I was imagining his watch.
Yeah. No, I kind of do agree though. Like, someone needs to get iced. Like, we need to up the ante. But yeah.
Make the
Are we
stakes
talking-
real.
Are we talking about changes right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with what John said. Sort of like in. Are we all familiar with the film Armageddon?
Yes.
Where they
Yes.
decide to train oil riggers to be astronauts instead of astronauts to be oil riggers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much like what John said, where we need real cops. I think instead of training actors to pretend like they're cops, we need to be training cops to pretend like they're actors. And then we just sort of set them loose, see what they do around the city, and just.
So you just want the show
Nice.
Cops.
Well, yes, but it's maybe pretend. It's hard to say, and that's where we get off from the liability.
It's half scripted, half improv.
Cops with more pranks.
Yes, I need some pranking cops.
Also,
Ashton Kutcher's maybe there.
to punk them a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, I think you may misunderstood what I was saying. My change wasn't that they should put real cops in the movie.
Right.
I was just saying that Kylan's concept that there's gore and actual people die
Right.
is that you put
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
cops. Is that he
Oh,
wants real
well,
cops who just kill people.
Yes.
Whatever accomplishes the goal.
Whatever it takes to get there.
The means justify the ends, which is a semi-entertaining film.
I mean, I think I would probably make it funny. I think if I had to make one change, I think that would be a
No.
good one.
Yeah, that would be a good change, yeah.
I think I would just, I mean, truthfully, I probably would put Jones in there more because he is definitely, I think, probably my favorite. I think like there are some actual funny moments. I think one moment I did really laugh at was when he has it's the collection, it's parrots. I forget what advice he's giving them to perform better human-like sounds. But I thought that joke was pretty funny.
Then he got him to call Harris a dork.
Ah, yes, the classic sunscreen. Gaff.
That was a different guy.
Well,
Yeah, who
it was
was
like
that?
a continuation of it
Oh, yeah.
because he pretended to be a parrot and called him a dork as he walked by.
Oh, yeah. He's good. He's
You
got
see,
good bits.
they have continuity. They call back to previous events in their films.
The big brains. All right. Shall we hop out and rejoin to finish it off?
Yeah.
All right,
Same ID. All right.
sounds good.
Only film in the series, so
Oh, hey. So
Hi.
Kylan, you said it's City Under Siege is the title for Police Academy 6.
yes.
Um,
City Under Siege.
Have you read the synopsis yet?
No.
Okay, good. Because I'm curious, based on that small amount of information, do we want to speculate what happens in Police Academy 6?
What is it called? City Under Siege?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's about the longest modern siege in history, the siege of the city of Sarajevo. It's actually a very sober film. Many die.
It's like what's I gotta look it up. I don't want to say the wrong thing. It's just like the classic film. I think it's called Come and See. Have any of you guys seen that?
Yeah,
Heard
I
of
watched
Yeah.
that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, dude, just like that.
Yeah.
Same level of heaviness. Maybe even a little bit heavier. So yeah,
I'm ready for it.
quite the tone shift.
I take it that's a fun, lighthearted family comedy.
Yeah, it's very lighthearted.
The Baylor
Lots of
Russians
laughs.
known for the romps.
Well, my version of the siege is going to be a little different, and that's going to be they get sucked into a different dimension, and it is the large siege that the orcs do in the second Lord of the Rings movie. I think that's the
Two
second one, right?
Towers.
Yeah. It's a large siege on that city, but all the police academy people are there. Tackleberry is just mowing down the orcs. Jones is making a bunch of, he's like mimicking their voices to make different commands to get them all confused. It just turns Lord of the Rings into a comedy, really.
It isn't?
Well, it should be. If you watch it the right way. With Police Academy on at the same time, it is. They line up perfectly.
What could the city possibly be under siege from?
That's such a good question. I'm also trying to parse that out.
Begin.
I can only assume. I speculate what happens in Police Academy 6, City Under Siege, is that it really follows the narratives of the ones we left behind. I may not like his voice. I may not like him. But Zed, he's coming back. He's upset that he was left out of the last movie. The Return of the King. He, along with Steve Gutenberg's nephew, unrelated,
In David Spade?
They've got fed up. They got fed up that they weren't invited to Miami for all the good times and hijinks. And Zed, we know he has a past. We know he has a criminal past. And when you push a man far enough, you don't invite him to your Miami retreat. Maybe you push him over the edge.
It's time to go back to the old me.
He goes back to the old ways. And, if you can't beat him, join him. If you can't join him, beat him. Zed's back, and he's ready for the blood of the city. He's holding the whole city hostage.
Back, baby.
And then the Police Academy crew are going to have to find a way, mostly using Jones's Foley work, to stop the siege and Zed's gangs of thugs.
What if we're thinking about this wrong? The people, it's actually a heel turn for Lassard and all the cops, and they're the ones doing the sieging. They're going into a different city, putting it under siege. I think that'd be a nice twist on the series.
What would be their motivation to put a new city under siege?
Maybe there's another police academy there, and if they can take it over, they double their influence. Lassard can control 2 police academies. He's really a power-hungry old man.
It's so obvious.
All this time, his master plan has just been getting deeper and deeper. I really have no idea what this movie could be about. Not even the first clue. Unless it's about terrorism, which feels a little heavy.
Now that we've discussed
Police
it,
Academy.
do you want me to read the quick, brief synopsis?
Why not, man?
Okay. Let me
Hey,
pull that up.
Sarajevo. The 1992 dissolution of the
Balkans. Let's see. Police Academy 6. When a series of robberies takes place in the city Wilson's Heights neighborhood, a group of bumbling cadets take to the streets to stop the three inept goons who have successfully orchestrated a metropolitan crime wave. So they're under siege from three
goons.
Is that saying that the 3 of them are doing all of the crimes, or they're starting a crime wave of other criminals, like in the Joker?
Yeah, I was about to say
I think it would be like the Joker.
This is
like a Batman Arkham thing where there's just petty crimes going on all day, every day, 24/7.
constantly
Guys
stealing
breaking
newspapers
in
or candy bars.
stores. Guys not paying their parking tickets, so they get their spine ripped out by Batman.
I can only assume they start the crime wave by they go into a crowded group and they say, "We know we're not allowed to do this, but," and they just lift up their hands, and pretty soon the whole city's constantly doing the wave.
Out of control.
It tears.
A group of convicted felons decides to do the unthinkable and orchestrate a flash mob in the middle of Metropolis, USA.
They're causing civic unrest where it hurts.
Oh man, I can't wait. I'm already just so ready for whatever is next.
Incredible. I really hope they go big in this one because I'm worried that that's going to be too low key. But I gotta remain hopeful that they'll really up the quality.
You could tell the budget was a little bit down with this one, I think, from 4, because you said 4 was the highest budget overall, right, Colin?
Yeah, I think it starts going gradually down.
Yeah.
Well, my hope is that they used 5. They knew what they were doing. They used it as a palate cleanser to have nothing insane happen because they couldn't top 4. But now 6 can top 5, and they can slowly start building back up the insanity.
Lower the bar a little bit so they can it with this one,
That's my hope.
I can only hope that. Well, boys, shall we superlatize?
Yes.
I'm going to say the best use of a shark being intimidated into leaving by a police officer. Now, you see, that's a key difference from Jaws, where the shark is just killed. This shark was intimidated into leaving.
I saw the fear.
Bruce felt no fear in the Jaws franchise.
I'd say best usage of fat guy emphasizing his fatness as a joke is when he just jumped out of the plane as a bomb and just flew into the home. It's and he landed on his feet. He goes through the ceiling and just lands on his feet. He's all right. And he knocks those two guys' heads together. It's this guy's a machine. They should have been using him on the streets all along, just taking people out.
They had him and Hightower rip a door off of a plane.
Yeah, dude, he's a powerhouse. He's definitely upgraded since Police Academy 4.
That joke in particular, I thought was really interesting because at first I was like, okay, it's just a standard fat joke where they're oh, he's really gonna bust the shit, but it is almost a subversion. And as it was happening, I was like, are they? Because you're okay, he's gonna fall through and he's gonna smash through the boat, and that's gonna be so disruptive. But then when he falls through, he very deftly falls through the ceiling and just lands and then knocks people out. And it's not like he superhero poses. He just lands, like you're saying, on his feet, totally fine. He immediately walks into it. There's no recovery time. The level of agility and poise is very
the Incredible Hulk just jumping out of his jet, just landing on his feet, just ready to go crazy. Yeah, it was kind of a subversion. I'm with you there. I was oh, he's just gonna belly flop and destroy the place. No, he's the super soldier of the Academy now, apparently.
It's if the Hulk was a ballet dancer, classically trained. Is that your superlative?
Yeah, that's my superlative. Most size emitted during watching. Or I have a second one that's a real one, but we can go with either.
Follow your heart.
Okay, I'll say the second one, which is just most inept goons so far. I'm almost sure that we'll get more inept goons.
Most?
It literally says in the next movie we get 3 inept goons. That's the exact wording.
We had a boatload of inept goons in this one.
Yeah, but is the ineptness spread across them to where each one's less inept individually? The sum is inept, and then the next one, each one, it's going to be a boat worth in 3.
the sum of the parts is greater than the whole or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Sum it up, messed up.
As the saying maybe goes.
it's hard to say. Most inept goons and most inept podcast host. John, say things.
It's a perfect synergy. I don't think I can save it. I don't think I can. But I would say I think this is the best use of a man who is renowned for his Foley work, training a group of parrots and really schooling an animal at its special ability.
He showed them what's up.
He did, yeah. Put them to shame. Which, you know, it really does make me question the lore of Police Academy. Makes me wonder, you know, maybe this man was raised by parrots, you know? Like, maybe there's a reason he's so good at mimicking, you know?
We need the backstory.
We need the prequel.
Maybe he
We need
was
a
raised by
solo
mockingbirds
film.
or something. I don't know. All right. Well, we're very high energy today. Moving into the final stretch. Would
We
you
had
guys
to
say?
watch Police Academy.
No, I think that's very fair.
It fits. It fits.
It's a somber mood for a somber time. Would you guys say that this deserved a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yes.
And what would you personally rate it out of 10?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it deserves it. I mean, I don't know. It's just like there's nothing just like offensively bad about it. There's just nothing redeeming about it, I would say. And with the last one, like I know I said yes last time as well, but I will say the last one had a little bit more to offer than this one did. I feel like as we've gone on, I've appreciated it a little bit more, just because this one was just so flat, I guess. Personally, I would give it like, I don't know, I guess like 1.5. Yeah, I mean, I just don't want to give it a 0 because I feel like I haven't truly encountered a 0 yet watching these movies, and I can only hope it's to come. So
we have to hope it's out there. Is
I
that a
hope
1.5
is.
out of 10 or out of 5?
Yeah, probably out of 10. Honestly, I give it. If it was like a 5-star, I would give the last one like 1.5 stars, and this one like half. There's just not much going on, honestly, in my opinion. But yeah,
That's fair.
I definitely agree. I'm saying 0%, 1.5 out of 10. Of the 5 Police Academy movies, this is by far the worst one. It doesn't compare to the other ones in enjoyment.
Yeah.
In that some of the other ones aren't good, but this one just really wasn't good. So,
I can't really decide. I don't know. When you say that from the 4th movie to the 5th movie, the series has lost its heart and soul, that must mean that the 5th movie was pretty bad. I guess I'll say it deserves a 0. I don't know. There were a few things in there that actually it felt like 4 a little bit, like the shark and the frisbee
good.
thing.
Oh yeah, the frisbee. I completely forgot about that.
the shark is 1 out of the 1.5 stars I gave it.
Yeah.
There
Just
you
straight
go.
from the shark.
Where it's like, I don't really understand why there wasn't more of that. And instead we had long shots of Captain Harris walking around with the word dork written on his chest, which really contributed to my...
Well, it's funny because he doesn't know it's there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think you
he's
missed
a
the joke.
dork. I totally missed it. Dork is funny, but
It is funny.
yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll give it I'll say it doesn't deserve the 0%, but it's like a 1.5 or a 2. It's low down there.
That's fair. I would say I'm also on the edge. I think I would say that it does deserve the 0, but it's not like an emphatic like this is a 0% movie. It's just like I just can't really imagine a positive review of this where I'm like, this is like I genuinely recommend this movie. I think it's probably technically like a better movie than Police Academy 4. Like I think there's a clear plot line. It's like more coherent. I think it's
fair.
less zany, and like that sort of seems like the whole point of a comedy. So I think that helps. So I think it's like missing that, but it's not aggressively bad. It's it's cardinal sin. It's just boredom. It doesn't.
I agree. Yeah.
It's very lackluster. So I would say like 3.5, 4 out of 10. I think that's reasonable. I didn't hate it. I was just sort of disinterested.
Yeah.
Yeah. For that reason, on my list, I have it in the lower third of movies we've seen at this point. Just because some of the other ones are probably worse movies, but by God, they're fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I still feel like I need 2 lists, which is one is like how fun this movie was and how like good this movie was. This reminds me of like They Say Hitler's Brain, or like some of those earlier ones that we did that are just like, I don't know.
They're a slog to get through.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Speaking of slogs, Kylan, what are we watching next week?
Next week, we're watching 1989's film Dream a Little Dream, starring Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. The genre is teen.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
And I'll look it up real quick, but if I remember the plot correctly, or like the little synopsis, it's the 2 kids end up getting in like older bodies. Yeah. An accident swaps the minds of a married older man and a teenager. So Corey Feldman ends up in an older man's body.
That seems like it get out of hand very quickly.
It seems like the movie Big. Like a similar
but they're
concept.
slightly bigger.
Yeah. And there's
bigger,
Corys.
but it was. What about big? But it was slightly less impressive.
Large.
Increase. Excellent. Well, I'm sure it will be an absolute delight whenever we get there. I did order, and I've received some components for my computer, so hopefully I should actually have the capacity to edit all this immense backlog I have. I think we now have 10 episodes backlog that I really need to release soon. I promise soon. But
they won't hear this until after they've been released.
I know. Yeah, that's why it's not helpful for them. They go, yeah, I'm sure that was true. It's true for us, though. That's what matters. But Parker, thanks again for coming back.
Yeah,
round 2.
Absolutely. Yeah, it gives me something to look forward to in these dark days.
The bright shining light that is Police Academy.
Yeah, man. Can't wait to delve even further into the world of Police Academy.
I hope the Dark Times is the actual podcast, but the Shining Star is just the movies themselves. You're like, finally, I have an excuse to watch the Police Academy franchise again.
I have to say it's definitely the other way around, but it would be funnier if it was that way. But
that can be in your tell-all book a few years from now.
Right.
I survived the Oscars.
I'll really lay it on the line then. When you guys are rich and famous, and I was only a guest correspondent.
They didn't pay me the same rate.
You'll be the world-renowned Police Academy expert.
Exactly.
You can put this on your resume.
Yeah, I plan on writing a pretty good blurb for this one.
Is there anything you want to shout out or plug with this time?
No, like I said last time, Rare Western. I really am trying to get it. I'm going to try to get it back off the ground a little bit. We kind of let it slip just because we suck, but I'm going to try to get it back off the ground. So stay tuned.
I mean, life happens. I don't think you have to be so hard on yourself.
Yeah,
it's just a project you did for fun, right?
Yeah. And I mean, that's all it is, and that's all it ever was. But I mean, there's still some interest around it, and there's some things that I would like to do. So yeah, be on the lookout. We might start doing something again. So yeah. Exciting. Yeah. Otherwise, just thanks for having me, and who knows what lays in store for Police Academy 6.
Some city under siege.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be incredible. All right. Well, until next time, guys. It's been good.
Yeah. See you guys.
That's it.